what I have right here is an abstract, minimalist piece of art created by an anonymous artist. No description given except for the title. It's just a dying cactus. And I just want your thoughts. Do you think this is art?
I mean, anything would be a piece of art.
Yeah, I mean, if you intend it to be like an art piece, I don't see why not.
Yeah, I agree with that.
They duct taped a piece of banana onto like an art exhibit.
I mean, if the artist who made it wants it to be art, I think it's art.
Yeah, I would.
Not really. I mean, like you can view it as like, you can like you can pinpoint details and stuff, but it really just depends how deep you want to be with it. For me, there wasn't really any effort involved.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, I think given the title that they named it, and the fact that there's definitely a certain emotion that's being emitted by this image. I think that, as long as there's sort of an artistic interpretation to be made, and it was at least somewhat purposeful, then it seems like art to me.
Yeah. Are you gonna ask me what I think art is? Because I do have an answer. I used to study a little bit art history, in high school. But basically, the debate about whether something is art usually comes down to what idea does it provoke? Anything can be art or artistic if it provokes an idea, right? Just like you've shown me a dying cactus. But you gave it a name. You said college freshman year, right? It has the intention of evoking something. And so because of that name and because of the idea associated with it, I draw my own conclusion about it.
So now I'll show this 3-minute documentary, and then I'll ask a question after this. What's up, guys?
What's up, dude?
Okay. And how you doing? Yeah.
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Yeah. So I've called you guys in here because I have a little idea for an experiment.
Okay.
So basically, in writing the essay, in class, we were talking about this thing called the New York City Earth Room. You ever heard of that?
No. What's it about?
So it's literally just an apartment in New York that's just full of dirt. And if you can check it out here. So basically, I was thinking well, if there could just be if this is considered art, people can just come to this exhibit, go to this apartment, this random building, and look at this piece of just dirt in a room.
Yeah.
I'm thinking okay, where do we draw the line on what is art? And I was thinking, what if you could pass very clear bullshit off as art?
Yeah.
How many people would fall for that,
Yeah, I mean, people go to museums for squares, at abstract museums. And so I mean, I think it could probably work.
Yeah. So basically, I had this idea. If you want to look over here, I have this dead cactus in my room that's been sitting there this entire time. So I was thinking, can we pass this off as art? What do you think about that? Do you think this is actually realistically possible?
I mean, it's already got it's got a cool pattern here and stuff like that. I mean, it's it could be art, and you probably need something to indicate it. But maybe.
Right.
Maybe.
Yo, Raph. Okay, so what do you think we can do to I don't know, spice this up? Yeah. So I mean, what do you think of this? Do you think it's a good idea? Or,
Yeah, I think there's a lot of potential with this concept.
I'm just nervous because I'm thinking oh, maybe we can dig it up, I don't know, sprinkle across some paper or some shit, cut it up, paint it. But I'm thinking that's a little too much.
It is.
Of
I think keeping it simple is the best way to go. I think the less that we do, the more we do.
Yeah. Less is more. Less is more here. I think especially with I think this is big. What's an art for an object? And we're trying to pass off something that isn't art as art.
I've been hearing all these ideas floating around of what we can add to it. But what if we just added nothing?
Oh shit, actually. We just don't do anything to the cactus.
We do nothing to the cactus. We present the cactus as a meaningful, deep, introspective piece.
That's actually perfect. That's perfect because then like
I know.
we just pass off a literal object as art. All right, so we have a dead cactus. And we do nothing to it. Do nothing. So after seeing this little documentary about the creation of this art piece, has your opinion on the original question of is it art changed at all?
Not really, I think. Because now that I know that it's a photograph, it's like art is like, photography is an art form, right? So I think that if you give even like a kind of random picture of like a cactus, like a meaningful title, and give it some, I don't know, some substance behind it, I feel like it could count as an art form.
No, I still stand by my original opinion, where I think in its simplest form and like the way it was presented, it's still not art, unless there's at least some sort of effort involved or like a time lapse of before and afters to have some sort of meaning or symbolism. But unless the vessel or like the pot or something was created in order to like create this photo shoot, I don't think it's art.
I'm a STEM major.
Some deep questions. I was expecting like demographic questions, but I would say the video did help because it gave some like backstory or lore to the art piece or the dead cactus.
Yeah, like I said, I think my definition of art comes from something having like a purposeful meaning behind it, even if it is to, make fun of the creation of art. Obviously, the cactus itself, isn't a work of art, right? But the fact that you chose to give it a title, that you chose to present it in this format, those active choices, I think that that's what draws the line between something being art and not being art.
No, because you gave it a name. You gave it a name, and also low-key, the fact that you made a video around it kind of makes it art, even if that's what you weren't intending. Because now that you've shown me the video that goes along with it, I just think it's even more art. Because it's like the idea that's evoked there is like, wow, people will look at anything that like has a remotely evocative title and just call it art. Which I think is like even more, it's like such like a meta level like look at it. I think that makes it more art. I'm not gonna lie, I'm sorry.
The big reveal is that it actually is an art piece and that this is just a fake documentary made for like this whole experiment. The whole doc is fake. Like that's just all the setup, making some. We're literally lying about that documentary you just watched is fake. It's all staged. The cactus is an actual art piece created by yours truly. Yeah, I think I can explain to you like the context between the actual piece where.
Yeah, I want to know what the real thing with the cactus is.
We're like, yeah, so I can explain. Like the cactus was this thing that I was in Home Depot. Like my mom was thinking, oh, you should like get a plant for like your dorm, and it's like when I bought it, it was like this really pretty thing where it's like this. It was like a pink cactus, small cactus grafted onto like a long green one. And I thought, oh, this is so interesting. I wanted to get it. It was like, oh, this is so interesting. I'll keep it with me in like all 4 years of my, or I'll keep it as long as I can in college for however long it lives.
Wait, this is you, like.
Yeah, this is me.
Oh, so this is your piece of work.
Yeah, so I'm the anonymous artist.
But you came back. Yeah, okay.
And so I think, but like throughout college, I just like, it's just kind of like me taking care of it. It's actually a lot harder than I thought. It just, so now it's like in the state it was, like it used to be this very beautiful pink flourishing cactus, and now it's like a dried husk of what it originally was. And like a part of me was feeling, oh, shit, dude, I fucked up. Like, damn, I think it was like exemplary about like how freshman year, it's like about learning to like, grow up. You learn different things, and it's all about like that jazz. I guess now knowing that context, what are your thoughts?
Well, I suppose if you provide context, in some sense it like could classify as art, but to me as like an unknown observer with no prior context, it doesn't really change. Like it doesn't, for me, doesn't classify as art. But to you, like you have all this symbolism, you have this context of how like you grow with this cactus, or you're learning new things about like how to keep it alive or whatnot. But like as just a person of the audience with zero context, like it's still, like my opinion still doesn't change, I suppose. With context it does change. I believe context is very important.
Well, first and foremost, I still think it's art. I don't know, that bamboozled me a lot. I definitely, when you first showed me the photo, I thought it was art. And then when you gave me the documentary, I felt like that kind of deepened its value a bit. Like there was like a whole story behind it on how it was made and its creation. And then when you bamboozled me, that psych, the documentary is not real, I think it also added another layer of art to it. I don't know if I'm sounding pretentious or not right now, but I don't know, it's just more complex now. There's a bunch of layers, and it's cool. There's like a whole backstory to it.
I don't know. I'm curious to see what other people's responses are. Like I said, I'm pretty unchanged through the whole thing. I think that's a pretty funny backstory. I don't really know how you fuck up taking care of Cactus. Those things live in the desert. I don't know how that even dies. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I said in the beginning, I believe that as long as something you can derive meaning from it, then it is art. You know, you can change the form of that art. Obviously, you know, as this whole thing has gone on, what I would take away from that piece of art has changed over the course of it. But I would say that's still art all the way through.
Yeah, see, originally, remember the thing I said at the beginning was, oh, it's art, you know, it has like an idea because you gave it a title. Then the next thing I said after seeing the video was, wow, it's even more art because there's context behind it that makes it like actually interesting art, not bad art, good art. Then you told me that's fake, so I'm like, I like your fake version of this more than the real one, because the real one seems really boring to me with just the title and like video and like the image. But now that you've given me context for the real one, see, now I like both of them. I think when you have abstract art like this, a lot of what makes it very interesting to people is the story behind it. There's a very, I'm trying to remember, I don't remember what it's called. There's a very famous piece of abstract art. It's a urinal that's like upside down, and that's it. And it was like at the time very controversial, even though like nobody you think would really care about something like this, because of the fact that it was like such a nothing object. But you know, at the time, you know, it was more of a weird decision. That's why people cared. But now people care because back then it was so controversial. It's that context that makes an upside down urinal very interesting to us. So I think abstract art is more defined by the story behind it than really anything that the object itself merits.